Coming to you live from the Poison Point studio, it's Neo!
Good evening, my esteemed watchers, and welcome to another episode of Poison Points. I'm your host, Irisu Neo, but you can call me Irisu, and thank you for being here this evening, especially being an hour early, working around our schedules just to see us. Welcome on in, Silver, Nikki, of course, Zova, Revi. I believe there was one more person. Oh, Artisty. And I think that's everybody. If I missed you, please say something. Oh, and Table. Table's here as well. My goodness, we're starting out with a bang. Thank you for the 3 gift subs from Silver. Congratulations to Blaze, Skeeg, and Cadence of the Blade. Hello, Orphan. Hello, Kuro. Thank you all for being here this evening. Starting things off with a bang, and unfortunately, no sub notifications on screen because, well, we can't have nice things, it seems. I'll work on that. For some reason, they seem to have made it difficult, or more difficult, to have that happen through the app that I use, so... Hit the deluxe total gifted subs, yeah? Yes, and Kiryu is joining us today. That is definitely not him running. That's him dancing to the beat, I promise. Oh, and Goblin Paladin, thank you for stopping on in. Roselia, I should say. 169 gifted subs. Oh, you all treat me so well. He's getting down Dojima style. That's just the way it goes here in the Poison Point suite. Here, I actually forgot to get music set up, so... Lo-Fi Girl has not let me down yet, so we will continue to use Lo-Fi Girl until the day that she dies. There we go. Well, after that stunning introduction, I think it's about time that we talk about our normal, basic, C2As. If you haven't already, and I have been really bad about this, I haven't uploaded in a little bit, but I've been really busy.
Yes.
Headband hands, thank you. If you haven't already, follow me on my socials. You can find me at Irisu Python and, well, on YouTube and on TikTok. Neither have been used too much, but if you follow them now, you'll be able to see. Oh, thank you, Daphne, for being in the way. You'll be able to see when I upload new things, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. I have good stuff coming. It's just been very difficult to get everything organized for the remainder of this month with all of the things happening in this month. It's been really busy to start off. Otherwise, you can join our Discord at, well, the link right down there. There we go. I have been joined up with Buffy to make more community events such as movie nights, specifically for Studio Ghibli movie nights, and we're working on things such as Crab Game, Mario Party nights, the whole 9 yards in that regard. So if that's something that interests you, I'd love to have you here with us. And it'll be a fun time overall. And finally, it is September, Sub-tember, and every sub that you give is a full amount towards me for a discount for you. So if any of this has interested you and you like what I've been doing so far, please consider dropping a sub. I work extremely, extremely hard to make the lore, Poison Points, and, well, everything else revolving around it work well. Hello, Emberheart. Speaking of Ghibli movies, I found one that I have not seen. Whisper of the Heart. I have not seen that one yet either. It might be on our list at some point. We have a few sad Ghibli movies to show some people. Yes, of all the things the headpads needed to do, it was headpatting chat in the background, you see. But yes, at a discount this month you can give through subscribing. It definitely helps out a ton. You have no idea the Yeah, the small hands. I got big hands. These hands are bigger than normal. But yes, any little bit helps. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I want to continue making content. And that is why every single one of these streams, even my normal casual streams, will have 0 ads, except for the first one that you see that is required because of Twitch, because they have to make their money. Thank you for the follow, Wolfson. But no ads on any of my streams ever. So there's no pressure to ever subscribe. But if you want to do that extra thing and help out, then by all means, it's much appreciated. Also, hello ID and Gate Snipe. The bigger the hands, the better the head pads, and thusly the easier to poison with increased surface area. Exactly. Look at this. I mean, if you take a look at my hands, oh, that's the wrong one. They're spiky. All the more to scratch you with. Oh, you don't want that? I could also give kisses. Oh, wrong one again. I have like 50 hotkeys that I have to go through and remember at any given time. So if that's not a reason to subscribe, then what is? You also get the silliest, goofiest emotes on the planet. So, I mean, that's what you want, right? Emotes. Oh, well, anyways. I'm gonna take a sip out of my drink here, my water. I had a coffee earlier today, and I've purchased the stupid ass, like Sour Patch Kids energy drink that I've not tried. I was tempted to try it before stream, but I'm afraid that it's gonna make my stomach unwell. So we're gonna wait for that until later on. I promise I won't. I don't know how bad they are. It's made of poison. I'm made of poison. Hey, look, it says on the can 0 calories, well, 5 calories, 0 sugar, and it's supposed to be natural caffeine. So, I mean, what can I say? It looks like it'll be a lot of fun. That made my whole body tingle angrily, and my ass was not happy. If anything says sugar-free and it is a sugar-based drink, I guess I'm gonna purge my insides for an evening. Maybe TMI, but who cares? We talk about a bunch of shit on this channel. Last week it was USB cocks, and how Valentine would fit a robot cock somewhere. And well, he has put robotcock.net out as the domain, so you can go straight to his Twitch. Yeah, that was the topic of the conversation last week. Oh, your ass cheeks were unable to stay seated. Okay, that makes much more sense. Also, I promise if you look up robotcocks.net, it is not going to lead you to a porn site. It leads straight to Val's Twitch page. Okay. Enough of that. That's detracting from our main guest tonight, which, by the way, thank you, Cinnamon. By the way, if you haven't followed them yet, there, you have it, their socials, and their Twitch page right there for you for easy access. And we'll give them a shout out as we go to the next scene. That is, I didn't say socials. I forgot to put a cap on that. It needs to have a timer. That's the first time it's happened in the whole time that I've had it here. So, hey, it works out. But yes, go follow Zovastria. And there you go. That's the right name, the right spelling. Okay. Without further ado, I think it's about time that we get into it. Shall we?
Hi there, buddy. We're just gonna sit here for a little bit while our thing target heals. I hope you don't mind. Level 991 to Lancer. Let's just have a nice little, I don't know, let's go out for dinner or something, you know?
Can you tell me that you're innocent?
Why? I'm innocent.
Yep. Okay, I'll see you next round.
A few moments later.
Amy's a bastard.
You are. I think it's time we put a collar on you. Wait. You'd probably like that, wouldn't you?
Stop calling me out like that. I was a worm. Would you love me if I was a worm?
Introducing our guest for this evening. It's the one and only Zova.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
I'll make sure to turn
I'm
off
here.
that video before I swap back to this scene and we get blasted with it again. It's happened before. But
Yeah.
welcome on in, Zova. Thank you for making the journey here today. And I see
course.
that we have two of you in front of us this evening.
Yes, I am gracing you with my 2D form and my 3D form at the same time.
Yes, I love your 2D form. Obviously, I do love your 3D, but the 2D, I feel like would take somebody's ankles if she had the opportunity.
Yes.
And hey, it caters
I
to the gremlin energy I love to support.
Yeah. I'm pretty evil. I mean, evil.
Yes. I love it. I love it so much. As a fellow villain, I think that we could both agree that it's all in the presentation of said evilness that really hammers home your everything.
Although nobody ever believes me that I'm evil, but I always declare it, but nobody ever believes me.
And it happens to me too. Don't worry. I swear. Like nobody takes me seriously anymore, and I'm bad.
Yeah.
I promise. I'm really bad.
I am really evil, though. People just don't know it yet.
Well, hey, maybe we can learn about that more today.
Perhaps.
Perfect. Well, hopefully no scuff happens. The guest star feature is known to be a little finicky, so we're going to hope it works. It seems to be working just fine for me, and nothing seems to be messing up too harshly. Like I had it mess up the first time, so...
Oh no.
But that's fine. Just as...
Scuff is natural.
Exactly. I have a pseudonym as the Scuff Queen. And that's how I got my origins, actually. So we roll with it, we roll with the punches, and make it fun. That's all we can do, truthfully.
True. It's not scuff, it was intentional, you just didn't know it yet.
Oh, yes. I was prepared by being not prepared for it.
Exactly.
Okay, well, Zova, now that you're here in the Poison Point Suite and you've made your journey, hopefully mostly safely and intact, I have a few questions for you, which I hope that the poison will help coax out, if at all possible.
I mean, I'm immune to most things, but I'm still very willing to answer anything. So
This is fair. See, my thing is with my poison, it's canonical that I can affect gods. So at that point, what can't I affect with my poison, especially with these nice long claws?
Fair. I'm an entity made of pure chaos energy. I'm like ethereal and then Eldritch horror type of thing. So I don't even know.
Like if you don't even know what can affect you, then hey, there's always a chance.
I know that if it requires physical touch, that my ability to be not like a ghost essentially makes it hard to punch me in the face, for example. But beyond that, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I have had a few eldritch beings, one god at the bare minimum, and well, I was able to help them drink water, even though they're not normally able to. So, you never know. Once my lore drops, you'll all see. But enough of that. So, last week we had the wonderful Virtua Valentine on, the robot gambler bunny, and he asked a question. He imparted one onto you. What is your favorite dinosaur and why?
My favorite dinosaur is the raptor, because honestly, we don't really know a lot about from back then, but they from what we know, they seemed to be smart creatures and more human-like than we give them credit for, I guess. More social packed animals and stuff like that. So I think raptors.
Okay, you enjoy their intelligence as pack hunters.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Well, because they're more than just like, I mean, like, it's sort of the same reason why I like cats or like dogs or whatever. Like, it's like, I mean, it's not like just like a bear.
Yeah,
It's
the
just like
brute.
a bear is just a big force of nature. I'm T-Rex is just a giant force of nature. Like they might have some social thing, but like for me, like I don't know, I'm sort of the predator variety, you know, like raw nom things, but also like social. So that's
Okay,
why I feel it.
I
Feel
see.
inside.
You know, that's a great answer. I'll make sure, because I think Val is working right now. I'll make sure to send this to him. I think he'll be very happy to receive this.
Hell yeah. Also, I really like Jurassic Park's interpretation of raptors, even though they're not accurate, like the in Jurassic World with Blue and all them. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that movie, it gets a little bit too much like crap sent its way. I think it's fine
true.
for what it is.
It's a fun
is-
movie. It's not accurate, but it's a fun movie.
How are we supposed to accurately know if these things were real? So let's interpret it.
True.
Let's bring it our own way. And
Well, and it's fiction, so
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
let fiction be fiction.
And we have Chris Pratt in the movie. That's all that matters.
Of course, the best Chris Pratt, the best Chris actor that I know.
Exactly.
Actually, no, that's a lie. Chris Hemsworth is better, but that's besides the point.
Well, was he Mario? I don't think so.
No, but Chris Hemsworth has some wonderful abs. So
This is fair. This is fair. Chris Pine.
no, nothing on them abs that Chris Hemsworth has. Have you seen Thor without like? Have you seen the newest Thor where he's just got stripped of his clothes? You know, it's like.
Yes, entirely fair. But yeah. ID. Oh no. Okay, so with that being said, let's reel it back a little bit. I'll give you some of the limelight so we can show both off, since my camera is a little difficult to get both of your models in frame.
Yeah, it's
Zova-
not too important that they're both on, but yes.
Zova, why did you become a VTuber? How did you get from where you were to where we see you today?
There's a long journey. So 2021, August of 2021, I started reconnecting with a friend of mine. Her name is Amelia Rose VT. She was a VTuber at the time, and she still is. But she was a VTuber. I never heard of VTubing. I never watched. I still don't really watch a whole lot of streams. I watch a lot of like shorts and stuff like that on YouTube and watch YouTube videos, but never really watched streams, and I didn't really know what VTubing was. Knew nothing about VTubing, but my friend was doing this thing called VTubing, and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, being like an anime girl on the internet. You know, that sounds cool. Like one of the reasons I had streamed like once or twice in 2015 or something like that, like as a fleshy, so to speak, and I didn't really like it because the only experience I had was the few people that did show up just made fun of me. They were like calling me fat and shit, and I'm like, yeah, this is not really a great experience. So I decided not to continue doing that. But then I was like, it was 2021. I was bored, and I'm like, I'm gonna try out this VTubing thing. So I don't know anything about this, so I'm like, okay, what is there? What can I do for a model? I heard there's these 3D things and these 2D things. I don't know how to get a 2D one, but hey, wait, a 3D sounds better anyways, so let me get a Vroid. And so I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do with anything, so I just made a Vroid that kind of looked like myself.
Okay.
And I can actually show it real quick if you want.
Oh yes, I would love to see it.
Let me see if I can find it in here.
It's a model that you could pull up.
Yes,
Okay,
I have all of the models accessible to.
Yeah, I'm usually always at the ready if someone had images to send. So I was curious if it was more of an image or a model that you could change to.
Should be this one. Yeah, here it is. I can't switch to the mouth doesn't work in this with the switch. This is the Vroid I made back in the first. I streamed this for about a week, and then I got tired of how awful it looked when I made it. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna commission somebody. And I wasn't trying to commission a Vroid, but the person I commissioned on Fiverr made a Vroid anyways, and it honestly I wasn't very happy with it. but it was this. It was sort of again like look kind of like me. They
Mhm.
drew on the texture for the choker and on the skin instead of actually like adding a choker in Blender. They changed the hair color around where the headband was to be purple instead of actually adding a headband in Blender, and so on and so on. It was not great for the $200 something I spent on it.
Oh goodness gracious.
But I used this one for a while, and then at some point, and then I got like it was about 2 weeks in, I started using this character, and then I met my first ex and stopped streaming as much. I was streaming like once every few weeks and not as often. So I started out streaming Pokemon Unite. It was my first game. I streamed a couple hours of Pokemon Unite a night, and then I was playing VR chat in the nighttime, and then I met my ex, and I started hanging out more with him, and only streaming occasionally every week or two, or every few weeks. One of his friends asked me to they wanted to do art for me, and I was like, sure. And they're like, what's your OC? And I'm like, OC? What's an OC? I didn't know what an OC was. I was like, what's an OC? And like, oh, original character. I'm like, huh? Okay. And then they were like, oh, you don't have one? You can use this software to make one. And I'm like, okay. And it was Gotcha Club.
Okay.
If you're familiar with Gotcha Club, you can.
Yeah,
It's like a
very,
kind of like
very
a dress up.
lightly. Yeah, but
It's like a dress up, like a dress up like model avatar creator. So I made one, and that's sort of where my character started. I can send you a picture of it, I think. Hold on.
yeah, I'd love to see it.
you
And
want.
put it on screen here.
Let's see. Pictures.
Also,
I
have
can send
no
you
chance.
a similar one.
I
did not
am
have
very
it ready.
surprised that you started off with someone, well, not someone, like a model that resembled you closely. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like whenever I see VTuber, I know that people put some aspects of themselves into it, but it is intriguing that this is the first path that you went down.
Yeah. Well, so essentially the thing was that I didn't know what I was doing. I was new to the idea, and I'd never watched anybody or had any reference for
Hmm.
any of that. Trying to find. I have the updated one. I updated it to more match my current design, but it's missing some of the original aspects of it.
Whatever you can find, that'll be perfect.
Okay.
And I was gonna say that, like, again, we have yet another example of VTubers being the gateway drug into VTubing.
Yeah.
Your friend doing it led you to do
Here it
it.
is.
I think I've only met one person in the whole time that I've ever been a VTuber who was a model before they were a VTuber or they had any idea what a VTuber was. So
there you go. There's the image. That is the first character I created in Gotcha Club. It had wings. Not the wings didn't stay. They didn't stay. The outfit changed a bit. But like, I made this character. I'm like, this is something I can vibe with, and that's where I started out. And then I sort of just left it like that. I never like used it as my VTubing model until at some point I decided to commission somebody to make one. So I found someone who did VR chat models, like, and made custom VR chat models. And so they used the model base, and they made, I believe it was this one. Yeah, this is generic VR chat model base that has these these horns, the crown, these purple ears. Like, it's got. If I scroll out for a second, the skirt's not really working all that well, but there's the thigh highs and stuff like that. They didn't include they had the tail in there, but they didn't include the wings or anything like that. But I sort of just was passive and didn't really care. I was like, all right, that works. And I used that for a while, for a good long while, until later on down the line, I started streaming more again, because my ex and I broke up. I had a whole bunch of time to spend streaming again. I was like, all right, where's all this? What am I going to do with all this time I have now? Oh, I'm just going to dump it on the streaming. So I started streaming a lot of hours, like just a crap ton of hours. And I ended up getting a friend of my friends to make me a chibi model, because I was trying to move more. At that point, I was trying to be more say-so for one reason or another. So I ended up getting this one, I think. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So
So
cute.
it's a con base. So this is what I used for a very long time, or not a very long time. I used it for a couple months, and then I wanted to update my design because I wanted my design to be more unique. Because I was like, I'm purple parrot cat girl with horns and like nothing like special about me. Like the design was very much like, to me it seemed kind of missing stuff. Like it just didn't feel complete, I guess. So I worked with a character designer to design up the outfit that I wanted and things like that. Along the ways, I've spent a lot of money on commissions that didn't really pan out. But
No. You hate to hear
eventually
that.
we came across, I think it was this one. Yeah, there we go. You saw this in one of the clips.
Yes.
So what happened was I commissioned somebody for a 3D model, like a completely custom, like ground up 3D model, with the outfit that I think I wanted, this like sort of crop top with the 2 layers and the skirt and the striped socks or arm socks and striped thigh highs and so on. And so what I did is I commissioned somebody to make that model for me as like a complete custom model that I would have then had to get rigged in 3D. But when they completed the model, the $300 was very well not up to the standard I was hoping. For one, the ears that they had given me on that model were like PNGs, like
Oh my
flat
god, no
meshes.
way.
So like I was like, nah, I'm not really happy with this. But what we did do is we took an Anon base from Booth and we scavenged the outfit off of the model that I commissioned, and we pasted the outfit on. We molded the outfit to this body, and so we built the model for this body, or this outfit for this body, and that's what I used for quite a long time. But I reached a point where I wanted to become more mature, less say so, and more adult and more me. Because I was sort of feeling limited and like I was feeling like too childish looking to me, like I was too young feeling with
Mhm.
this model. So I was like not really happy with it. So I finally found a eureka moment and I learned how to make my own models. And that's where I came across into the current models I have. Let me switch back to my normal one. Where is it? Where is it? It's purple. Purple. Soviet purple. There it is.
See, that is the true money saver, is learning how to do it yourself.
Exactly, because now instead of spending $100 every time I want a new outfit, I can just do it myself and spend that $50 on the outfit pieces and just put it together myself.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
as you saw, like the color of the hair changed over time. The ears became white floof like they were supposed to be. And like I've still got the arm socks. The top is a little bit more revealing. I've got actual booba like showing and things like that because that's what I wanted. Like I'm a little bit more feeling like me, I guess. And all somewhere down the line, back when I was in my con, is where my lore sort of started. Is like I started with just like someone asked me what was my lore, and I'm like, oh yeah, yada yada yada, and then it sort of built on it from then. So I've just been building on to the character since then. So yeah. Sorry if
So,
I ranted a lot.
oh no, no, I asked you for the journey, and I'm happy with what I received.
Yeah, like
It's
as far as future goes, I have a live 2D that I commissioned back in January. I'm still waiting for the art to be finished. I have the rigger is still working on the rigging. I have no idea when I'll ever debut that, especially since the I don't have the money to finish paying for the rig yet. So
yeah,
we'll see
yeah.
if when that happens. But I'm really excited for that too because like it just looks so good, and I'm really like, while I love my 2D, my 3D, the 2D that I commissioned, like I wanted to sort of get into the art style of 2D and how will it fit in more of the broader like mainstream VTuber space. Like 3D is nice and all, but it doesn't always necessarily fit in with everybody else. Sometimes it feels like.
I feel like
So that's
you need already a specific design that is like meant for 3D.
yeah.
There's like when you go down the design philosophy, you think to yourself, I'm going to make this 3D or I'm going to make this 2D. And if you can make both work, then by all means. But I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about 2D that is like always appealing, and when it's done right, it can be chef's kiss.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, and it's one of the things. Like the thing about there's advantages to both. Obviously, my live 2D won't have hand tracking, and a lot of the things that I can do with the 3D model, I just won't be able to do with the 2D. But at the same time, there's whenever you like see the hair and things like that, the hair will always clip through pieces and stuff like that. And sure, there's ways to like create collisions and colliders and stuff like that, but it still will never be as good as a model that's rigged to look exactly how it's supposed to look.
Yeah,
it'll look exactly how it's intended, whereas a 3D model is, well, it will most of the time look like what it's supposed to.
I mean, there is huge advantages and disadvantages that like to both, I should say. Like there is a lot of freedom in the 3D space. There's so much you can do that you can't accomplish with 2D. So I've always been an advocate for, if you can do both, then go for it, like 100%.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think that you would have, like, from what I'm seeing of your current little model that we see in the corner, I can definitely see, like, I envision the full-sized version of that, and
so
it works.
To give like a one of the things that I'm looking forward to, this is sort of sneaky peeky, but not really, also because I've talked about it before, is on, so the small model, obviously, for one thing, it's a gotcha model that I pulled apart and rigged into Live 2D, and I've made quite a few of these now at this point. But one of the reasons I like it so much is because it features something that my design actually has on it, but that I haven't been able to replicate in 3D yet, and that's my monster mouth tail. So a key part of my design is I have this sort of tail that it's got chompies and big tongue and stuff like that, and lore wise, it's essentially my way to consume chaos energy and yada yada. But it's just like my unique, like one of my unique aspects that makes me different than just some generic cat girl sort of thing.
Yes,
is one of my key things. But between that and my tentacles, like, that's like those are my two like key features that make me different. And so that's one of the things that I'm like super excited for on my new design that's coming with the live 2Ds, is that sort of mouth tail.
Here, I'm gonna adjust my scene here so we can see your mouth tail up close. Yes, I love the little mouth tail. I'm sure that with like probably hours and hours of work, you could replicate it in a 3D space.
Yeah, if I had the skill or the money to pay someone to make it, I could probably make something good in 3D. But there's a lot. I already, when I spent the money on the live 2D back in January, like I sort of committed, and like I don't really have the money to try to. I'm not skilled enough to make more than basic like accessories and add-ons. Like, I can make changes to meshes, and I can make little objects like crowns and things like that, but I can't really find myself making something super complex, because I'm just not that good at it.
Yeah, and I will say, looking at this model, it gives me, it's not quite the same, but it reminds me of Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door.
Oh yeah.
I think of Vivi when I see when I see this model, and I'm like, oh, I can envision so many cool things that you could do with this. It has me excited.
Yeah, so with the one of the things is that, because I'm a shapeshifter, one of the things that's you probably know of this, the idea that you can just sort of cast away anything that look like canon wise because you're a shapeshifter. You can be like, yeah, it's canon because shapeshifter. That's me. All of my forms that I've ever had are technically canon because I'm a shapeshifter, and in my lore they can all sort of fit in like puzzle pieces. Like my sort of like it sort of fits on the way that, oh, well, you see, like when I first started streaming, I was starting out as like trying to fit in more like a human because I didn't want to get caught by the government and be sussed out, but eventually I just became more comfortable that I could be fine and keep going as myself, and the thing about my power shapeshifting is that the more different that I am from my true form, which has never been shown before, but the more different from my true form that I am, the more difficult it is to maintain the shapeshift. So like, obviously I didn't stream as many hours in my first initial days. Now I stream like 200 to 300 hours a month. So like, it obviously wouldn't have been possible in my initial days for me to maintain the human form that long.
Yeah, and like I appreciate that you have lore, like a lore drawback to the shapeshifting, because sometimes people will be like, "Yes, I'm a shapeshifter. I could do anything," and that's it. That's their
Yeah,
whole gimmick.
I'm not all powerful or anything like that. Like, also, I can't become things that aren't alive. I can't become a toothbrush. I can't become a brick. Like,
That would be really
I have to
funny,
be
though.
something that I've seen before and something that is alive. Like, I can become other people. Like, I have made models for my friends and things like that. I can technically become shapeshift into them briefly. Like, I can shapeshift into my friend Freya. Oh shit! I don't know if this will work.
Well, we're about to find out. Yeah, there we go.
My friend Freya. And I can shapeshift back into one of my other outfits. Like my let's see. Let's go into oh yeah, I can shapeshift into Zovachad.
The name alone has me intrigued.
Zovachad! This was actually an April Fool's joke that I didn't do a very good job of making because I didn't even set up the mouth properly. But yeah, no,
Oh, that is awesome.
I did so much. I made so many different outfits and things like that that I can sort of shapeshift through, and like my outfits are made of chaos energy too, so I can sort of just like change them at will. But
I love that
yeah.
the neck is non-existent and it's straight into your head.
Yeah, you see, I was just trying to do something quick, so I just freaking chopped off the head of a model I found and then just tossed mine on top of it and modified it a little bit.
Oh, that is awesome.
And it's still canon though, because like I can shape. Technically, my canon gender is non-existent because my species doesn't have a gender because I'm a pile of gas like energy. I'm chaos energy. I just choose to be what I want to be. So like, like it's all canon.
Yeah, there you go.
It's great.
Fast and loose, but also, you have fun with it.
Exactly.
Now that does have me curious. Like, what kind of content do you create for your streams, and I guess for YouTube in general?
So my streams, well, a lot of what I do is Warframe because I'm not a Warframe. I always deny that I'm a Warframe streamer because for one, the company Warframe hasn't recognized me as one of their creators, and despite the fact that I've streamed over 1,600 hours of their game in the last 2 years, but also just like I don't like being tied down like that. I consider myself a variety streamer. I'm mostly a game streamer, so I stream games a lot of times. I like to do chatting and like collabs and stuff like that, but I don't feel like I'm very good at maintaining conversation by myself, and I never find myself in a situation where I have an active enough chat. It's sort of like a chicken and egg situation where I never feel like I have active enough chat a lot of times to like continue a conversation with somebody, but because I'm bad at keeping a conversation with myself. But I also, if I'm never able to start that, then nobody will ever want to do that. So it's sort of like a chicken egg situation. Like I can't get people to come want to chat with me and chat if I can't chat by myself, but then I can't chat with, you get what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I tend to just do more game stuff because I can chat with chat while I'm playing games and not really have much problem usually, especially Warframe. Like Warframe is a game that I've got back so good that I can just like play it as a background game and just talk about whatever. Honestly, like that's one of the things that happens quite often is those will be randomly talking about some random bullshit while playing the game in the background, and this sort of just acts as like a background activity, honestly. But like without some sort of filler or something like that, often it feels like I can't hold a conversation, so I just tend to do games and stuff.
And that's entirely fair. Like I have an advantage because when I streamed previously and made YouTube videos, I had all of the time in the world. I didn't really talk to anybody, so I would sit in my room all day and I would talk to myself. And I if you were like a scrying eye into my room, you would think I was insane. Some schizophrenia had taken me, but that's how I practiced. And I started off talking to nobody at all. People would stop on by and they'd be like, who are you even talking to? And honestly, that's all you have to do. Not a requirement nowadays, though. Nowadays, there's a lot more leniency, I feel. And if you have a game that you love, like Warframe, and you can
Yeah.
chat while playing, then boom, that's all you need. You don't need to just chat all the time. Not like me,
Exactly.
at least.
Well, and that's the thing is, I would like to do just chatting streams. It's just I just find myself that doing the it's just easier for me to do like game content now. As far as like YouTube goes and like TikTok and whatnot, I do like to do edited videos and stuff like that. All I've done some like Warframe builds and things like that. I'm finding myself more and more interested in doing sort of like scripted videos. I just haven't. I was sort of putting myself off, trying to wait till I had my 2D model for it, but I've done a few now, where I've done a few news episodes for VStream, and I've done some like build videos, and I've done some other videos, and I'm just like I kind of like doing that, but I've just sort of been in the mood of like, oh, I kind of want to wait till my live 2D is done, so it's sort of like I'm sort of there, but at the same time I'm like I should just make content because I need to make content. I don't know.
It is a difficult 50-50 to hit.
Yeah.
I have not done it recently because I've been working on a bunch of things, and that cuts into the time I have to do it. But
Yeah.
I've had an interviewer on before, an interviewee, sorry. Her name was Eotitus, and she has a hard and fast rule that she follows, where whatever you stream, the rest of your creative process has to match the amount of time you streamed. So if you stream for 4 hours in a week, you have to work 4 hours in the week on stuff of creativity wise, uploading videos, and it's a good balance. It strikes like a nice balance, and it keeps you accountable. Now, obviously, there are like exceptions, not necessarily a black and white, like you gotta do it or you don't. But you gotta strike that medium for yourself. That'll definitely help push you forward.
Well, part of my problem is that I stream so many hours in the week that it wouldn't be possible to match, and I do need to reconsider myself. Actually reconsider like my hours again, because like on an average basis, on an average day, except for my break days, I usually stream like 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day.
God
So
damn.
like I said, 200 to 300 hours a month is my average stream time. But like I usually try to do Fridays is my like day to like do content on YouTube or whatever, like to do edited content, like video editing and stuff like that. But I just some Fridays I'm just like I'm gonna hang out with friends. I don't get anything done, and so just like I used to do is I used to just like every stream, at the end of the stream I would go and find a clip to post. Like I just go find a clip from the stream, but I started getting sort of burnt out on that idea of just trying to find, because a lot of times there's not going to be anybody clipping my streams, so I'd have to go clip them myself, and so going to find my own clip after a while got sort of boring, and when I wasn't seeing as many results with people being interested in them, I'm like, I'm just going to pause on that and try to do something else. But I was doing it for a long time. I was trying to find clips for funny clips for and that's the thing too, is there's always a mix of how much time versus effort you put into it. Do you just grab a clip, throw it into the software that the paid software, and make it in like 20 minutes, or do you actually put the effort into the video editing and spend like 2 hours editing this clip that's only like a minute long?
Yeah,
to make it funnier? Like how much time versus like reward versus effort? Like is it worth it putting out a short every day that it takes like 20 minutes, or putting out a higher quality one every week? Like that's the real question too.
yeah,
and maybe there's room for both. I don't know.
It is one of those things that like it depends on where you want to be, because for you, if you don't feel it's worth, then by all means that's completely fine. Other people maybe will be like, you know what, it's not worth it technically, except for myself. All that really matters is how you feel about it at the end of the day. There's no right or wrong in that situation. There's no this is the way to do it, because I'll be honest, I have seen people, this is going to sound harsh for like in a broad sense, so I apologize.
No worries.
I've seen a lot of people who hardly try at all, and they get
Fair.
ton they get a ton of viewership, versus some people I know that try harder than anybody I've ever met ever, and they rack in 10 average viewers, and it is wild to me. I think that that's insane. But they love it. The thing is that they love to do it, so that it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
The main thing is like we do this. At least I do this because we enjoy it as a hobby. Like I don't. If you're doing this because you expect to get big, or you're doing this because you expect to like make a shit ton of money, you're doing it for the wrong reason. You're probably gonna fail because you're setting yourself up to fail. But it is nice to know that your efforts are like making progress rather than just like, like you're just like, oh, I put out a video and this video got 2 views because YouTube's algorithm is weird.
Yep.
And I don't understand the algorithm.
Yeah, YouTube is funky, Twitch is funky, all of them are funky. Something that's helped me is instead of viewing it like I used to, where I wanted to be famous and make a bunch of money, like you said, I shifted to, I just want to see myself improve. I want to be able to look at my first video and the video that I made today and see what progress I've made in terms of improvements.
I did do this actually, like, so for my 2-year anniversary, what I did is I found the recording from my first ever stream, and I was like, OMG, I've changed so much.
Yep.
I'm so much better. I did not say a single word until almost to the very end of my first stream. It was an hour long of me playing Pokemon Unite, and I said almost nothing. I almost said literally nothing. I like scrolled through the entire thing and listening, trying to hear my voice, and I said something at the very end, and that's it. And I'm like, what was I doing back then? How was I expecting myself to be entertained? To be fair, I didn't have a reference for what VTubing was or what streaming was because I never watched anybody. But at the same time, looking at it, I'm like, what? I know no one would have watched that. I wouldn't have watched that. I was terrible. Sort of thing,
You should have seen my first video I've ever made where I was, hey everybody, what's up? I'm playing this today. And then all I did was read dialogue. I didn't add anything to the video at all. I just read the dialogue on screen. It was terrible. It was the worst.
It's like sometimes you think about it and you're like, I feel like I'm doing terrible, but then you look back to your old stuff and you're like, yeah, at least I'm better than I was before.
Yeah, we're always improving.
At least that's the hope. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I've come onto streams and sometimes people just flat out don't know. There was one time I hopped onto a stream where all of the audio was only coming through the left audio source. So it was an assault on the left ear. Nobody in chat was saying anything. And I know it wasn't just me because I hopped in with a bunch of other people to see what happened, like what is wrong. And no, this is just how they'd been streaming and nobody told them.
Why is that a thing? Why does nobody say anything when somebody's audio is broken? But it's why it's important for you to listen to your audio at the end of the stream,
Yeah, very much
at the same time. Yeah. To be fair, like I had something similar. Like, so I use NVIDIA Broadcast to filter my mic because I got a noisy environment. So, especially in where I used to stay, I had an AC like 4 feet away from my mic, and so whenever I had the AC on, the mic quality dropped significantly, and nobody really said anything until someone someday was like, your mic kind of sounds like shit. And I'm like, I went and listened to it. I'm like, yeah, it kind of does. I turned off the AC, and suddenly the sound quality was like 10 times better. And I'm like, oh, so I just got to turn off the AC from now on, I guess. But like, even if I turn off the filter entirely, the microphone quality even gets better. The problem is that there's background noise. That's the only problem. But can't really do anything about that. But like, it's like things like that. Somebody should say something, but nobody does.
Yeah, it usually takes that one rando that comes in, and then you never get to see them anymore because they think that's all you're going to be producing. It's funny that you mentioned the audio stuff with microphones because the other day I was sitting in a VC with ID10 in chat, and he was demonstrating a ton of things that I never knew about audio. Like, I knew a bunch of the stuff that he was talking about OBS, but not about audio. And he is an audio wizard. So I don't know if he has, like, DMs open to anybody. I'm sure you could drop a question if you had any questions that you were like, how can I improve this? Very, very cool guy. Definitely recommend. Speaking of that, I will give you another shout out here because I think it's cooled down by this point. Nope, apparently not. That's what it is. I hate Twitch so much.
Twitch should let you shout out people more often, I swear.
I think they're trying to prevent you from spamming the same person over and over again, which defeats
Which is fair, but on the other hand...
Yeah, it defeats the purpose of what I'm going for this show, which is dedicated to one person. So...
Yeah.
Okay. I am curious. If you weren't, well, what you are, like as far as the design, what would you be instead?
I actually toyed with this because I was... Okay, as... Maybe this is... I'm pretty sure this is not just me, but as somebody with ADHD, I have a propensity for wanting to change certain things just randomly. And, like... I just, like, sometimes I'm like, what if I was this other type of VTuber? What if I was this other type of VTuber? And so on. Like, there's just, like, a bunch of different designs in my head. But I'm like, no, I can't rebrand. I'm not going to rebrand. If I rebrand every 3 weeks or every 3 months, I'm never going to cheat. Nothing's going to stick. I can't make new art every 3 weeks. So, I can't. I have had thoughts like that. Like, ooh, what if I was something else? But I, honestly, like, the one type of thing that sort of sticks out to me that I've always sort of like as a secondary design sort of thing that I like is androids or like robots or AIs, some sort of electronic like tech thing. Because I'm a huge fan of like tech, and like I'm in the tech sphere, so to speak, when it comes to like I was employed in tech before I lost my job, and I'm very much a big fan of like technology and things like that. I actually have a model I made as a temporary like test. I made a test account with it. I can show you. It's on the 2D side. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me pull it up real quick. I made a character. It's technically a character that exists because I made it, and I made an account for it at one point to try it out, and then I sort of didn't really feel it. But this character here called Ava D94 is an Eldritch infused robot that I used a voice mod for at one point to try to make a few videos. It didn't really take off. I was just trying it out to see how it feels. But something like, you know, some kind of robot or something would be probably where I would be if I wasn't what I am now. Some sort of electronic device or something.
Okay.
Maybe some sort of like AI like Cortana or something that's like malfunctioning or something. I don't know.
I mean, we love AI VTubers, glitch tubers, anything in that vein. I'm always a big fan of, because you can be very, very creative with that. Like the world is your oyster at that point. Like whatever you want to be the pearl is, boom. I have this idea. I can do it because that's what the capabilities of this character is. But overall, you enjoy what you have now. Model wise and character wise.
Yeah, definitely character wise. The lore that I have built on is ever growing, and I already have. If I had the money and the resources to produce more large scale events in my lore and videos and comics or whatever to go with them, I would have the writing done and like everything planned out already. I just can't feasibly make that happen. I'm like, all these wonderful things I wish I could do, and I don't have the money. Or the backing from like a company or something like that to make it happen. I'm like, if I had like the resources of a corpo, I could literally like make these. I have these grand ideas for lore and videos and events, and like one of them, which will probably never happen, but one of them is sort of like the idea of a interdimensional war, essentially, because I'm from a dimension called the astral realm, which is where I come from. Is my realm. I'm the princess. I rule over it, and so the idea was the idea of an invasion from some other dimension, like the void or something like that, and I would sort of don a battle outfit and then get scars and things like that, like a scarred face or something like that, and like so it'd be sort of like a big ol' like event. It'd be a lot of fun to do like sort of like a big old battle and like have aftermath of the battle, ultimately win the battle, but have consequences and so on. Sort of like things like an issue maybe that needs to be solved, so because my eldritch form maybe is becoming unstable and so on and so on. There's so many things I can do, but I don't have the money.
Yeah, the biggest limitation is that big green dollar bill.
Yep, I don't have the skills to make my own animated films, nor the resources to do so, nor the money to hire somebody to do them. So I just have to imagine them in my head and pretend.
Yeah, we can live them out verbally at the bare minimum.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, speaking of which, I have one last question here before we move on to the lore questions.
Yeah.
Just as a good cutoff, because I have had people curious following this question if it's still about them or what else. But what does it mean for you to come home and get onto the computer and become Zova?
I mean, for one, I don't leave my house. Because
Fair
I'm
enough, fair
unemployed.
enough.
But in the case that I was leaving my house, it's been a long time since I've had a job that wasn't work from home too. But for me to turn on the computer and be Zo, honestly, here's the thing: because of most of the people I interact with are somehow related to content creation in one way or another, other VTubers, other people in the content sphere. Honestly, I'm sort of just me, but I also put on a little bit of a, I guess you could say, show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm me, but I'm like, oftentimes my character is me, and my character is mostly me, but also like I put on the show regardless of like who, a lot of times, unless it's like in a professional conversation, like I just am me, I guess. But also sometimes it's like the character shines out through too. So like I sort of just always am me at the same, I guess, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain, but like there's the only times like I'm not me, the character, when I'm like at home is when I'm out with friends, which is not very often. And when I'm out with friends, it feels weird to have them use my actual name.
I see.
But like at the same time, I'm like, because like it sort of like feels like it just is me now, I guess.
So you've taken this on as your persona that you
I've
enjoy.
Persona.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
it kind of feels like it is me, sort of, I guess. Like obviously, in person, I don't have cat ears and horns and stuff, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like snap my fingers and I'm playing an act. Like, I sort of just am me. Like,
Exactly.
if I guess that makes sense. But like, I'm not at the same time. Like, some things that are involved with the character are like not accurate to my actual like life. But at the same time, it's like, so.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the dream to be able to don cat ears and horns, actually,
Exactly.
factually. And,
Well, and then lore-wise, again, shapeshifter, my human form. When I have done face cam reveal streams and stuff like, it's just another shapeshift. It's harder to maintain, so I can't show very often. But
exactly, and boom, you choose this form in its anime appearance just because that's your choice.
yeah,
Okay. So you mentioned it a little bit, and by the way, this is the cutoff point for like no more personal questions.
yeah.
What realm are you from in your lore? What do you rule over this realm?
And do you want me to just like explain like sort of like the backstory, or do you want me to just go based on just like telling you about my realm a little bit?
You know what? Whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm curious because I actually don't think you filled out an application, and it was today that I realized, oh, you never did, and that's my favorite part actually, is exploring the lore without me having any knowledge beforehand.
Yeah. So, I am Princess of Austria, Astral Realm, and I come from a place called the Astral Realm, as was said in this Astral Realm. Is a sort of dimension that exists in. It's an alternate dimension. It's not like I am a demon, kind of an Elder Horror kind of, but I'm not like from hell or from some pre-existing dimension. I'm from a dimension called the Astral Realm. The Astral Realm is sort of kind of like a voidy kind of place. There's kind of empty. If you looked at the sky, it would kind of resemble space, but it's not really space because there's not actually stars there. They're actually just like pockets of chaos energy that are just like there. Um, before I was brought to this earthly realm as sort of like a mistake, it was sort of just empty. We just sort of floated around and messed with each other and things like that. We didn't really have a reference for creating like things. We didn't have any buildings or anything like that. We didn't really have a reference point for those things, and we didn't need those things. We sort of just existed based on chaos energy and things like that. We didn't need cell phones. We didn't need food. We didn't need buildings or beds or anything like that. So we were kind of boring, honestly. We just messed with each other a lot. Um, but I was like still like I was still sort of the de facto ruler of the society and whatnot. But one fateful day, someone tried to summon a demon, and they accidentally found out a way to summon me. I don't know how they did it, but they summoned me to the earthly realm by mistake. They were trying to find a demon that could just take over the world for them. But they didn't really know what they were doing, and when they summoned me, I was in my true form, and my true form kills people. As in, like, it's so horrific and terrifying that it kills mortals.
Oh no.
Which is why I haven't shown it, because I can't really show it without fear of killing people. But so they summoned me, and they pretty much immediately died. Some of the people who were bystanders in the area before they died, I wasn't familiar with the language at first. They looked at me, and they were like, as they died, they screamed "Neko Demon," and I was like, oh, I guess that's what I am, kind of. But my demon name is Zovastria. So my full title Zovastria is my demon name, I guess you would say, and then Zova is what most people call me. But like because they summoned me, I sort of shapeshifted myself a bit to not kill people, and I was looking around. I'm like, there's some cool stuff here. Like there's cheeseburgers and pizza and like the internet. And as a species that like sort of thrives on chaos, and we consume chaos energy as a form of like existing, like human beings consume calories to exist, we consume chaos energy to exist and grow more powerful and also power our magics. So we found this like place to be full of chaos energy, and so it was very tasty. So we were like, all right, let's keep the portal open and sort of see what we can do to create chaos without killing everybody, because killing everybody means less chaos. But yeah.
This is true. You would get a large spike of it, but then eventually it would go away forever.
And then it would just go away. We want something sustained rather than a big old spike, because it's hard to deal with a big old spike, and we wouldn't. It's like you could eat 10,000 calories of cheeseburgers and things like that, but then you would be hungry for the next few days, or you could eat those over the next few days, and then So
yeah. And what better place than the internet to consume these things?
Yeah. see, the Twitch.tv is a very chaotic place, and it's very tasty.
Yes. Literally, you could find anything that's from chaos to no chaos at all, and it's still chaotic.
Yeah. So I always aim to create chaos. But one thing that you notice is in my true form, one of the parts of my true form is, so like as I mentioned before, my shapeshifts, the closer they are to my true form, the more easier it is to maintain, like less chaos energy it takes to maintain that shift. Some of my true form includes sort of a horn-like feature and the ear-shaped, like sort of like ear shapes, not directly like the exact ears that I use, but they're sort of ear-shaped and sort of like also has tentacles. I don't have legs in my true form. I sort of just float there. I'm made of chaos energy, so I'm not really like I'm like ethereal, like kind of like ghostly, but I can manipulate the chaos energy to have a physical form so that it can be interacted with, because obviously if I'm a ghost I can't pick up things, so like being able to like interact with objects requires me to physically be able to make myself physical, so I can make myself physical to interact with objects, but I'm still made of chaos energy and sort of like an energy sort of thing, sort of, if that makes sense.
I'm following along, yes.
I have these lovely tentacles that I that come out sometimes from my true form, and when I start to lose control of my shapeshift, my eldritch self starts to come through, and you see my eyes go bright purple magenta, and if you look closely, I start to get cracks in my flesh, as well, and my tentacles come out. I can send you an image of 2 images real quick that you can show.
Yes,
for like
yes,
what
please.
Those look more like lore-wise.
I love myself eldritch horrors beyond all comprehension.
Yeah, I don't have, again, I can't show my true form, one because the artist I commissioned for it still hasn't finished it, but also because it would kill everyone, and I have to find a way, some sort of magical device to prevent it from killing everyone.
I'll be fine. But yes,
this is there's that, and then let me find the other image that's in.
Oh, I see the tail. I'm excited. I'm happy.
Yeah, and then there is where is it? Folders. I have like this big old folder full of stream-related files, and I have not organized it because I'm terrible at organization.
I am exactly
Uh,
the same, so no stress there.
yeah, I have this PNG. It's actually animated.
There we go.
Go through.
Perfect amount of time. There we go. To resize this image and fit it over my face while we talk about these designs here.
Yeah.
There you are. Oh, that's the wrong one. My bad. There we go. So now we have the full image over myself, so we can take a look-see here. I really enjoy. Always a big fan of this tail. Like I will always.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
And actually, so the tail, funny enough, so I sort of came up with some of the ideas for my tentacle form, but the tail's like inclusion and addition was actually an idea by Cynical Bunny. So I had commissioned Cynical Bunny to help me design my sort of like 40% elders form, and so I gave Cynical the sort of some of the basics of what I wanted, like the tentacles and the cracks in the flesh and things like that. And Cynical thought about adding the tail, and I'm like, actually, that's really dope. I love that. Let's do it. So Cynical was the one who actually like put forth the idea for the tail, and I was like, yes, this is everything I wanted it to be.
Yes, I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Here, I'll.
So that's why the chibi form has the tail. My 3D model does not have the tail because I couldn't figure out a way to model it myself, and it would be something that I've been so much in flux because there's such a weird. Okay, so I went from I'm gonna go 2D to I found out how to make my own 3D models. I've paid somebody to make the face tracking better on my 3D model. I'm like, I like my 3D model. And then I was like, you know what? But I miss all the software features of Live 2D. So I was like, all right, I'm going to continue down the path of Live 2D. I already spent the money anyways on the Live 2D model. And then I found out about this new software called Varudu, which adds all these other features. And I'm like, wow, now suddenly all the features that I wanted from Live 2D are now in 3D. And then I'm like, wait, but then if I want to continue on this path, I have to commission somebody to make me the tail and things. And then I was like, or I could just continue down my pace for 2D. I've had a lot of decisions to go through. It's been such a complicated process of trying to figure out where I want to go with things because there's so many different paths you can take. I could have commissioned somebody to add the add-ons to my 3D model, and then I would just use that. I could continue down my path towards the 2D model, and one of the things I really want to do with the tail and the 2D model is make it chat controllable.
Ooh.
TTS and so on, animations and things being chat controllable. So I don't know how I would do that in 3D, if I could do that at all in 3D. So that's the main reason I'm going 2D, but besides the aesthetic. But just because every time there's a new advancement in 3D model tech, I'm like, OMG, I'm gonna lose out on these I'm gonna lose out on hand tracking with my model. When I go 2D, I'm going to lose out on my ability to add new outfits every time I want a new outfit for different events. I'm going to lose out on my ability to pose my model in different ways because every time you want a different animation or something like that, you have to have someone draw it and animate it in Live 2D, and I can't do that myself. All these different things that are bonuses of 3D are things I'll lose, but at the same time, I sort of am just making that sacrifice, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning before with the advantages and disadvantages of it. You know, there are some things that you just can't do with 3D, but you do have the ability to pose anything any way you want for free. And if you're skilled enough, you can also make small changes for free, which is not something that you can easily do unless you're already an artist for Live 2D.
Yeah. And if you look at my Live 2D real quick, you can see that when I do the tentacle toggle on my 3D, it also does it on my 2D.
Yes.
My 2D is a chibi one.
Oh, it's so cute.
Eva, yes. I can send you. Okay, I want just so you can react to it, but I can't have you show it on stream. But what the 2D model is looking like, if you want to see it.
So no showing on stream for sure.
Yeah, I mean I've shown bits and pieces of it, but I'm trying to keep myself from just showing it outright because I want to sort of make it into a surprise at some point. But let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on.
Okay, for my eyes only. Thank you so much. Chat,
Yes.
screw you today. This is just for me.
This is so you can react to it, so you can know what we're talking about when I'm talking about the 2D model that I'm working on getting done. Let me just see if I can find it. Because that way you have a reference for what we're talking about in regards to that.
Yeah, I have the villain pass that I'm allowed to see some of these things
Yes.
in advance.
Yeah, here it is.
Now, I do know somebody. They are named Laura Dragon Art, and they crafted a 3D fella that does have TTS, like chat controlled. And I might be worth it. I'll see if I can like hook you up with him to see if that's something that you still want to do with the TTS tail.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so I just don't know how to do it with a completed model. Like, in a 2D model, the way I thought I was going to do it was have the tail be a separate object, so that I could then have the object controlled by the VTS pog while also having the main model separate. But in a 3D model, there's not really a way to connect like two objects like that. It's complicated. I don't know. I honestly I'm open to but at this point I've basically committed to the 2D, so I'm already past that decision window.
Yeah, go for it.
but yeah, you can see what that's with the tentacles toggled on, with the model and with the eyes toggled on, with the Eldritch form. 40% Eldritch form is gonna look like.
I love it so much. I'm gonna contain my excitement so that people aren't like, oh no, I need to see this, but this is really cool.
It's gonna be really good. I'm really excited for it. It's just a long waiting process because I'm still waiting for some of the toggles from my artist to be finished. Like I have toggles for like a microphone and like different hand objects and things like that. I want because I like to do singing and I want to have like a dedicated like arms like position for singing and things like that, and like key controller and stuff. That's one thing I do on Warudo and like 3D that I won't be doing on 2D is keyboard tracking, because when I'm playing games with keyboard and mouse, I can track that with Warudo. Like I have hold on.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
It's broken.
Oh.
It's wait.
Oh.
Yeah, it's broken a little bit. That's fine. It's broken right now. I'd have to reset the software. But there's a keyboard and mouse like that I use on Warudo that I can track. It's like you can sort of see what buttons I'm pressing, but like I won't be doing that on live 2D. I'll just have the controller there.
Yeah,
but
at least not with like spending a shit ton of money to add those features in.
Because I did originally commission the assets for it, but as far as rigging it up and like using it, I decided to not spend the extra money to get it all rigged up for the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Plus, one of the things that goes on with like when it comes to like streaming like as a VTuber, and not everybody talks about it, but 2 PC setups. It's very hard to track your keyboard from one PC and to another. If you're running your model on one PC and then trying to like game on the other PC, it's very hard to mimic the inputs into the other the PC while not also screwing everything up.
Yeah.
Because you're playing on this PC and you're trying to get the keyboard inputs on the other PC. Well, if the other PC is receiving your keyboard inputs so that it can track it on the other PC, well, then you're also pressing buttons on that PC, and it's
and like binding everything. You Control C. Everything is just. I can imagine it's very complicated.
If I ever want to go to a 2 PC setup, which eventually I do want to, because one of the things that frustrates me constantly is whenever my PC has a crash, especially something I've had recently, in the last few months, is that some games very randomly, but it's been only 3 or so games that has done it, will completely crash my PC, give me a black screen, my graphics card's fan speed will go to max, and I will have to restart my PC. And if I had 2 PCs, then my stream would stay up and I could still talk with chat and tell them what's going on. But when this happens, when my single PC setup, everything just goes down and everything is just frustrating.
Yeah. There is a lot of benefit there that, honestly, probably uncompromisable for some people, I imagine.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. For one, obviously with 2 PCs, you don't have to worry about performance hits from the games. Your performance, your models are always going to run properly, and yada yada yada, and yeah. So obviously you can't track your keyboard and controller input when not on at the 2PC setup. But on the other hand, it can make it look good enough if you just have a controller in your hands and it makes it look kind of like you're gaming, I guess, you know?
Yeah. I am intrigued. It is something that has crossed my mind previously to like free up some resources on some ends. But again, it's that big old dollar bill that makes it difficult to actually afford all of that stuff.
True.
So,
and one of the things that I find interesting too is that a lot of things kind of feel gimmicky, if you know what I mean. Like, I initially bought one of those the hand trackers, the Magic Leaps, back when I first started. Like, I was like, oh yeah, Magic Leap, that sounds cool. Hand tracking. I bought one of those, and I was like, I plugged in and I used it for a bit, and I'm like, this is cool, but I don't see myself using this like long term. I'm like, to me it was a cool gimmick, but like not something I felt like I needed to stream with it. And it's sort of, I'm starting to gain the vibe of that too with my some of the things I use like in streaming these days. I'm like, do people actually care? Like after the first, wow, that's cool. Do people actually, care about, oh, I can see their keyboard? No, I don't think they probably care that much. Or like that it's accurately tracking my keyboard or whatever. I think that's like a cool, like, oh, it's cool for a moment, but then it doesn't really matter after a while. What matters is it entertaining?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's this like, it's weird because in your mind you're like, yeah, I'm using it. I like it because I'm using it, and but you gotta put yourself into your viewer's shoes sometimes. Like, if you have this redeem that you love, but after like the first 20 times of using it, everyone knows what it does. Even though you want to hear it again, it's something you'll have to be like, all right, I've overlived. It's overstayed its welcome. Let's try out something new to catch somebody's attention. It's the grind. It's just the way it be.
Yeah, but it's basically though. It's like these cool technology things that you can do. Like, they're there and they're cool, but what it really, like, this is why people shouldn't be ashamed to be like a PNG tuber or like to have a VRoid or whatever. Is because what it really matters at the end of the day is that you're entertaining and people like want to be there and watch you. Like, it doesn't really matter if your model is $10,000 or if you use a PNG or if you don't. Like,
yep.
What matters is if you're funny or like worth watching. Like, if someone wants to watch you, then it doesn't matter if you have a $10,000 model or 5 billion different ways to track your hands or, so like, yeah.
I've had a tracker implanted into every bone and muscle fiber in my body.
Hell
and
yeah.
It perfectly mimics every bit of my movement. Whatever, you're not funny.
No, or like I've seen this actually quite a few times where people are like, I'm gonna become a VTuber. I'm gonna spend $10,000 on a model before I've ever even streamed once.
Yeah.
And then they stream a couple times and they're like, this isn't for me, and they stop streaming. I'm like, if you want to become a VTuber, try it with a PNG or a VRoid first.
Yep.
See how you feel. How do you like it? Is it something you enjoy because you enjoyed it, or are you just trying to do it because you think it's a trend you can get on in and become famous or rich or whatever? If you're just trying to do it because... Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say that, like, that's the beauty of PNGs. That's, like, the most important part. Like, don't go all in, unless you can make it yourself, of course. But give it a shot in a very simple format and see how you feel first.
Exactly.
PNG, best way to do that. Or even for some people, they use the pre-built stuff and then tweak the colors and the lengths of things. So for like Live 2D and 3D.
I have one of the ones that I really like a lot that's free. Let me pull it up here. I have the MO one, which is the drawn one.
Oh, yes.
I customized it a little bit.
Yeah, I want to actually get that customized for myself as well, because
see, I changed the colors on it a little bit. I changed out some of the face things, and yeah, it looks nice. It's not mine, it doesn't belong to me, it's just cool to use sometimes, and it was one of those things that made me sort of pushed me to Live 2D. And the other one, I got one off of Booth. I got one off of Booth, which was like $30, and it's like really well done model. And I was just using it as practice to like practice toggles and things.
Yeah, there you go. And you can work with that. I assume obviously some of this stuff is like use it with credit or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to be ashamed of to go that cheap route first and see how you like it.
Exactly.
and then
Like, just try it out and see if you like it, and then don't fret. If you don't spend $10,000 on a model when you first start, you're not going to be worried about not liking it.
yeah,
For one.
exactly. Or in debt.
True. I mean, I sort of made the mistake when I first started. I was like, I like this a lot. I'm gonna dump $200 on Fiverr, and then I got scammed. And then the amount of times I've gotten scammed on Fiverr is not zero.
Oh yeah, not fun.
But on the other hand, I have gotten good artists there too, so it's just like hit and miss. But like, I was employed and had money at the time, so I was like, I'm gonna pay for something. And yeah, if I had taken all the money I spent on the 3D models I gotten over the years, or like over the last 2 years, I probably would have had more than enough to get a decently rigged up 2D model.
Mhm.
It's just that I didn't have the foresight of the planning or anything like that. So
Yeah, yeah. So I have this segment, a new segment. Or I should say, yeah, there it is. Hypothetical, theoretical. Sometimes the voice tracking is finicky for when it picks it up. And this is a question that is born from the idea that it is complete and utter bullshit, because it's me asking these questions. And I made a channel in my Discord so that anybody can submit their hypothetical theoreticals. And I'm curious today if you'll be so kind to, well, listen to one for me today.
sure.
Okay, let's see here.
I'm a pretty radical hypothetical myself. So
All right.
let me just get into something more comfortable.
All right, perfect. So I have lipstick, by the way, off-brand. I have black lipstick on, and I do have blankets on for the both of us today. There it is, the nice karaoke outfit.
Yeah, so this is the outfit I was going to show. I just couldn't figure out a good time to show it. This is a nice little onesie outfit. I have to turn off the microphone manually, but hold on.
No worries. Okay, so this question comes from someone that I won't reveal until after it's been answered, because I like to keep it weird that way. But hypothetically, theoretically, if Tim and Jim have the same father, the same mother, and the same day, month, year, birth date, but they aren't twins, what are they?
Step siblings.
Okay. that is an answer. I mean,
I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Step siblings.
yeah, you're right. Actually, I told you before that there's no right answer to this, but that is actually probably the right answer to this question. What else could they be? I mean,
it's like, they could also just be alternate dimension, like alternate versions of themselves. But like the most logical answer to me is like step siblings.
I do like that concept of the parallel universe version.
Yeah, just like find yourself in a parallel universe. Everything's the same except you are slightly different.
Yeah, you have a slightly different name than your counterpart.
Exactly.
All right, well, that one came in from Mitsura Madoy. So thank you, Mitsura, for asking that question. All right, I think this is a perfect spot to go ahead and take a little bit of a break. If anybody needs to grab any water, speaking of which, Bill joining in to give us that hydrate, now is the perfect time. We will be right back in just a moment, but I'd like to open up the opportunity to chat, to ask any questions to Zova, and, well, we'll see what she answers with. Okay, and we'll be right back, everybody, in just a moment. Hang tight. Alright, everybody, we are back. I hope that you were able to, well, grab a snack for yourself as we went to break, and I hope you didn't miss us too much. Well, we have a lot of good questions coming back from break here, and, well, I like this one from Wilfred that wants to know, why do you deny the cuteness instead of embracing it?
Also, hi, Wilfred. Why? But hi, Wilfred's from my chat. Um, I am evil because I don't want to look weak to the other Eldritch horrors. I am evil and I need to be strong. See, and I don't want any signs of weakness to be shown, and I don't want anyone to be like questioning my ability and my power. So that's why I'm evil and not cute.
Okay. I still think there is room at all times to be also evil, or sorry, also cute while being evil.
It's not me.
It's not you? Okay.
I'm evil.
You're evil.
Yes. Only evil and chaos. Destruction. Murder.
Okay. Well, we'll put it that way for right now. But I can assure you that you are safe in the hands of my sweet here. So, all right. Gate Snipe wants to know, since you can become ephemeral, or at least become gaseous in a state, is there basically no limit to what size hole you can fit through?
I mean, I'm kind of a ghost. When I'm ethereal, I'm kind of like a ghost. I sort of just pass through things. It's not really a matter of holes, so to speak. I can pass through actual walls.
Okay.
So there's not really a limit to what I can get into, if that's what I guess if that's what the question is.
Okay.
Sort of similarly, like my size is sort of up for debate because I can be as big or as small as I want to be. Example, my cat form in 3D.
So evil. I won't say that other
Yes.
word. So evil.
Evil. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, Blaze coming in with the sweet question. Did you know you're awesome?
People tell me that and I don't understand what they mean by it, but okay.
I mean, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta accept what people throw at you.
Yeah.
Silver wants to know what your favorite genre of game is.
Honestly, I find myself playing a lot of shooters, but I don't play like Call of Duty type games or Valorant type games, I guess. Because like, I play Warframe. It's honestly, okay, here's the thing. I'm a social gamer. I play games with people, for the most part. Before I ever streamed, I only ever really played MMOs and like online games. I mean, I played an occasional like single player game here and there, like Cyberpunk 2077 was one of my favorite games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I play games with people. So like I played MMOs like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, and Guild Wars 2, and Warframe, and Minecraft, and so on and so on. And it wasn't really until I started streaming that I started branching back into like single player games again, because like it's kind of still social, and then I'm interacting with chat and things like that while playing. But before that, it's always been social games. Lately I've been playing a lot of Warframe. Of course, I always been playing a lot of Warframe. I've been playing a lot more Fortnite recently than I ever did in the past. I actually quite enjoy Fortnite more than I ever thought I would.
Oh yeah.
I've also been playing through the story on Guild Wars 2 with some people. I want to get back into Final Fantasy 14. I have played Overwatch 2 in the past, but haven't played a lot of it recently. And like various like, yeah, that's basically. I hope that explains sort of like where I am. But I like party games a lot. I like social games more than anything else.
Okay. Yeah. Anything that you can really be cooperative with is something that will sit
talking
well
with
you.
Involving people, being with friends.
Okay. So, never mind. I was gonna say like Mario Party.
Love Mario Party. Love
Yeah.
Pummel Party too.
Yeah. There you go. Soulstone
Listen,
wants
just
to
because
know.
I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just because you're with your friends doesn't mean you can't hate them a little bit.
This is true. That's why Monopoly exists.
Exactly.
You'll just, chill out later and be fine.
Yeah.
Soul wants to know, what is your favorite ability that you have?
I mean, I think one of my most hilarious abilities is that like chaos energy isn't really useful for that much, but what we do use it for a lot of times is like creating sort of like chaos holograms of sorts, like hard light kind of like we can, like I said, I can sort of create like materialize like objects out of chaos energy, but they're not actually that object. They're just like sort of like they look like that object and they can weigh as much as that object, but they won't have the properties of that object. So like I can make a bar of gold that looks like a bar of gold, but is made of chaos energy, but then it won't actually melt down like a bar of gold, but it will feel like a bar of gold in your hand, at least until it dissipates. So like creating like fake objects, and like one of the things that my entire realm up until before I got summoned was empty, but ever since I got summoned, we've been like making things out of chaos energy there. Like we have like my entire castle is in there now, and various structures and things and islands and all that we built out of chaos energy, and we should sort of like maintain them based on like pumping energy into them. Of course, we've integrated some earthly technology so that we can have internet access in the astral realm, because it would be quite boring without it.
Oh yes, I imagine so.
But like we basically just materializing objects. Probably between that and shapeshifting are probably my two favorite things that I can do with it.
Okay, I like that answer. Being able to form something that is.
Yeah, I mean my clothes. It's quite convenient that I can just be whatever clothes or like wear whatever clothes that I want, because I can just materialize them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it would be a little awkward per chance, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Chance wants to know, do you like rats? And what's one thing you look for in a game, no matter what kind of it is, or what kind of game it is?
Do I like rats? The animal?
Yes.
I don't mind rats. Like a lot of people might be scared about rats, but like rats are actually adorable, and they can be quite good pets if you are interested in those like kind of pets. I particularly don't trust myself to take care of any kind of pet.
Fair
let
enough.
alone like I can't even take care of myself, let alone a pet. So why would I let myself be responsible for any being at all? But like as far as like I don't mind, like if someone had a pet rat, I would be fine holding it or whatever. It would be
okay.
Fine. As far as looking for stuff in a game, I like to look for secrets, I guess. I like see things that other people haven't seen yet. So like I tend to look for like little Easter eggs and things, I guess.
You like to get that achievement that 0.1% of people have achieved on Steam, pretty much.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, depends on the game, because if I really like the game, like Cyberpunk 2077, I did every single achievement in that game, and that was the only game I've ever done that intentionally on. Like, I've gotten games 100% before, but that was the only game that I intentionally 100%ed because it was such a good game. Even though it was like, when I played it, it was right when it came out, and it was really buggy. I still enjoyed the shit out of it, which just makes me weird, I think, but still.
No. Like, I played it after Edge Runners came out, and
gotcha.
Even then, it's still not a perfect game the way that it mechanically works, but I feel like I could have played it sooner and still gotten a good experience out of it.
Yeah, I mean, there was bugs, of course, like flying cars that go flying when you hit things and stuff, and I definitely abused a money glitch to get myself more money in the game faster than I should have. But like, it was still a lot of fun. Like, it didn't like cause me to rage quit or anything like that. So it was good.
Yeah, I only had one experience where I had to reload like half an hour in the past. And that honestly wasn't that bad, because it was as simple as walking faster to that destination, and boom, I was there 5 minutes quicker. So
yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I actually have a question for you that I just thought about.
Okay.
This is actually a question that was asked last stream, but I think that I want to keep it as like a main question. You have all the time in the world to come up with a plan, and you have all the money as well, let's just assume. You have all the time in the world to plan your last stream ever. It is going to be the last one that you ever do. What are you doing for that stream?
What if the last stream never ends?
I mean, by Twitch limitations, I'm not sure what YouTube.
So are we going by Twitch limitations? Because Twitch limitations would be 48 hours, but does it count if you just restart the stream in Twitch? Like, or does it have to be like when Twitch considers it over, it's over?
That is a good question. would you be able to keep it going? Like, what if your internet cut out and the stream ended?
Well, you have all of the time and the money in the world, so you have all of the money to build the internet infrastructure required to keep it going permanently.
Ah, shit, you're right. This is
And you have all of the money in the world, so you can build an entire new streaming website exclusively for your last stream that exists to permanently 24/7 stream your last stream.
and it's okay. But what do you do for your stream?
Honestly, like, whenever I think of like a final stream or something like that, I'm just like, it's got to be a party, right? Like, I always hate the idea of a funeral. So I'm like, why are you gonna why are you gonna go somewhere and be sad, right? Like, celebrate the person's life, be happy, enjoy everything that was to be about that person. Like, it'd be sort of like it'd be kind of like a VTuber funeral, but like instead of being a funeral, it'd be a VTuber party. It'd be like the greatest party of all time. Like, anyone and everyone is invited, and like there'd be so much going on that you wouldn't even know.
Okay.
It'd just be a constant party, like permanent party for all of eternity.
That is a very unique answer that it kind of contrasts very heavily what the last answer to that one was.
Yeah.
Which was Valentine saying terrorism would be his last stream
Oh.
idea. He never elaborated, but he said he would liberate an oppressed people as part of his terrorism. So if he was gonna get banned on Twitch, that's that's what he would do it for.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think that far outside the box. I was just like party
that's fine.
every day.
Honestly, I'd much rather have the party than whatever insinuated terrorism might come from
Yeah,
this.
no, just like, can you imagine how much partying you could do with infinite money, like in infinite
yeah.
time?
Yeah, you
Like-
would never stop.
You would never stop. You could probably end up passing away while partying, and it would be perfectly fine. You would be happy doing so.
And then everyone's holding that last vigil of silence in
Exactly.
your name.
Like, let's just say that this was like my final like day alive for whatever reason, whether it was like I was really old or whatever, and I'm just like, it's time for me to party until I pass away. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do
Infinite money. Let's go. Everyone get on the yacht. Let's go on a big old yacht trip on
we'll
stream.
stream it.
Pay for
We'll
best internet plan. We can stream it. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. And then you will pay somebody to take your place eventually.
Exactly. No. You see, you have infinite money, so you build the best AI possible to replicate your old self, that you could just have it continue be you.
You inject it into the system, and it continues to be you for the rest of eternity until the world burns.
you, and then it takes over. And then it takes over the world, like I wanted it to, and then I win.
Yeah, exactly. And then from the afterlife, wherever you may be, you're smiling and you're like,
I am the Terminator. You should fear me.
Yes, there you go.
See, here's the real thing: is like, if I get everyone to party forever, then if I actually had the intention of world domination, it would be really easy to dominate the world while everyone is currently busy partying with the infinite money that I have given them to use for the party.
Yeah, this is true. And anybody who isn't
Very
partying
easy.
with you, then they're not part of the plan anymore. Now are they?
Exactly. They are cease.
Okay, I like that answer. I have 3 big questions, though. These are traditionally like what I like to call the big 3.
Yep.
The first of which is, if you could ask the next interviewee anything, what would you like to ask them?
Which is your favorite kind of cheese?
This one I know will start a war. Okay.
See, I have a thing where people throw cheese at me on stream, and because they think it's funny to throw cheese at a cat. Like, you know that meme with the cheese in the
right
face?
on the face.
Cat. Yeah, so people think it's funny to throw cheese at me, so they throw cheese at me all the time. So I'm just like, cheese.
Well, I'm curious. What is your favorite kind of cheese?
My favorite kind of cheese is Colby Jack or Pepper Jack. I love Colby Jack a lot. If I'm feeling in the mood for something spicier, though, I go for Pepper Jack. It's not like super spicy or anything like that, but it's like it's got a tiny little bit of kick on it. If I really feel in the spicy, I've tried this ghost pepper cheddar before, and oh my lord, it's so good.
I love that one. Swiss cheese, though, has taken my life by the chain, and that is all that I consume.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't mind Swiss. It's just not. It's just not my. It's just not my top tippity top tip top.
Yeah, I prefer it as like an alternative for grilled cheese sandwiches.
Fair. Have you ever done? So I don't know how many people know about this, but when you're making grilled cheese, if you use mayo on the bread instead of butter, it becomes so much better. Like you just put a thin layer of mayo.
You're the first person to finally say that. Everyone thought I was insane.
No, literally everyone's like, no, I hate mayo. I'm like, no, listen, it burns the flavor of the mayo away. It makes a perfect grilled cheese. It's not greasy. It's tasty. It's perfect. I don't eat mayo because I hate mayo, but it literally makes a perfect grilled cheese. So if I keep mayo in my fridge, it's literally just because of that.
Chance just saw like my whole body light up. My partner and Chance refuse to agree with me on that. They think that I'm wild and insane and that it doesn't work.
It definitely works. You just have to try it. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. You don't smother it on. You don't make a giant thin layer. You make a little thin layer of it, and it cooks away the flavor of the mayo. It just leaves the oil behind it. It's perfect.
Yeah. You have validated me. Thank you. Thank you for finally, like, I can prove that I'm not insane.
You're definitely not insane. Everyone else is just too stubborn to try it.
Okay, my next question for you is, if you were a drink at the bar behind you, and this can be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, what kind of drink would you be, and what would you name yourself?
I would be an Arctic grape cherry lemonade. Because that sounds like a really tasty flavor, and that's what I want a flavor to be eventually. So I want someone to make it. So I'm like, that would be what I would be. Some kind of like, I love grape. Grape soda is one of my favorite like sodas, or like grape flavored drinks. I also like lemonade, and I also like cherry, and I also think that cherry plus lemonade plus like Arctic cold, yeah, lemonade, yeah. So like, I think it would be like it's kind of like a chaotic drink because it's like a bunch of different things in it at once, but it's the same, and you don't really think about grape in a lot of drinks. You're like, grape in a drink? I mean, there's grape juice, but like grape flavored drinks, like you don't really think about grape flavored drinks. But I like purple, and purple is tasty. I want to taste purple. So there you go.
Purple, you say?
Purple. Tastes like purple.
What would you name this drink?
The tentacle surprise.
Ooh, like I like that on multiple levels.
Because you can have some like grape jelly in on the top, like around the rim or something like that, and then like put streak down.
Okay.
There you go.
So
As like the tentacles.
have you ever had sparkling ice, the drink?
No.
Okay, so it's not bad. It is an acquired taste, I will say. It does take a little bit to get used to it. But unfortunately, this is not sold as an individual flavor. But they have I think it's grape cherry flavor. And it encapsulates everything that I love about grape into a drink. It's so
Nice.
good. I recommend that you give it a try if you can find it anywhere. They usually sell
I
it
should
at
see if
like
I can find
Walmart
it.
or something like that. They sell it in packs. You have to buy a full pack of other flavors
gotcha.
as well. But thankfully, they're dirt cheap. They're like Silver would know because every single Wednesday we go out to hang out. He purchases a whole pack of them. So
Nice. I just find myself drinking a lot of energy drinks these days. I don't drink a lot of anything else other than water. So I'm
Mood.
like, oh,
Definite mood.
I've been drinking these. These are C4 Freedom Ice. They're like the icicle pop flavor one. I'm like, oh, that's so good. I've also had their like Skittles flavored ones, and like I don't know why I've never thought about this because like, okay, so Skittles is like every Skittle is the same flavor. Like that's just different smells and colors. So like they can manipulate your brain into thinking. So they literally made a flavor of drink that is just Skittles flavor. It's not a specific kind of Skittles flavor. It's just Skittles flavor, and it tastes exactly like Skittles. And it's like,
Interesting.
I guess that makes a lot of sense because Skittles is the same flavor anyways. So like they don't need to make a lime Skittle flavor. They just make Skittles flavored.
Yeah.
And it works.
I'll have to find that because I got the Sour Patch Kids one.
Yeah, I've tried that one too. I wasn't as big a fan as I was as the Skittles one.
Yeah, I'm
But yeah.
curious how it will taste. I haven't had it yet, but I'm gonna drink it after stream because I think I would have been a little bit too wild if I drank it before stream.
Yeah, there's a bubblegum flavored one. That one was not my fan. I was not a fan of that one. I was like, bubblegum and a drink, a sparkling. No.
I've never been
a
big fan of traditional bubblegum. I think the only way that you'll catch me having it is with Rockstar, because normal Rockstar tastes like bubblegum. At least that's how I've always tasted it, and that is how bubblegum should taste in my brain.
Gotcha. I've never had a Rockstar before.
Really?
I'm kind of new to energy drinks. Like I've only tried some of the more random ones rather than the actual mainstream ones like Red Bull and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I can recommend from like a brand perspective, if you're gonna have a Red Bull, have one of the flavored ones, the blue flavor. It's literally like they have blue, they have red, they have yellow. One of those. Rockstar, the traditional Rockstar, is perfectly fine, and the Aussie Lemonade Monster is, oh my god. I feel like I'm talking drugs with you right now.
I mean, they're basically our drugs.
They're not good for you at all. All right, and they're not good for you at all. I accidentally pulled up my own voice on stream. My last question for you is, who would you like to raid?
Well, I was going to raid one of my friends, but he just ended. However, I know somebody else who's streaming right now who we can raid them instead.
Perfect. You want to send that over to me so I can get the name proper?
Yes.
Because I'm so bad about it.
They are actually doing a talk show right now, funny enough. But John loves anime. I played Fortnite with them and they're really chill.
Let's get their in here. There we go. Boom. Mute this tab before I accidentally there we go. All right, perfect. Thank you, Zova, for being on. I know you have a collab after this, so anybody who hasn't yet, please go ahead and follow my guest, Zovastria.
Thank you. Make sure you follow the Poison Dart Frog too. She's adorable.
Oh, I'm not adorable. I'm a villain. But if I am curious, when do you have your next stream planned?
Well, the next stream is the collab, which is very soon.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna be hanging out with about 8 other cool VTubers. We're gonna be playing some VR chat and doing the VTubers night out, which is gonna be a lot of fun.
Perfect. Yes, and I will double throw this in here. This link. Nope, messed it up. Didn't fully spell guest properly. There we go.
Happens.
Yep. The pain of being a fast typer is, well, a burden that I have to bear. You are a wonderful guest to have on this evening, and thank you.
Thank you. You're a wonderful host.
Thank you. I appreciate you dealing with me being sick when I was going to interview
no worries.
you the first time.
Things happen. Things happen.
Even a being such as myself will, unfortunately, vomit all over the place. So.
Yeah, I don't want vomit on me. So.
Yeah. We want to keep it clean and sterile in this room.
Exactly.
I already have like 5 to 6 different eldritch goops in that chair. So, and we've just added another one with the tentacles. So.
Hell yeah.
All right. I do not actually have a next stream planned. I'm going to take a week just to regain my bearings. So I will see you all when I see you. And here is the raid message. Before we head on out, Zova, do you have any final wisdom that you would like to impart on chat?
Yes. When you see some snow on the ground and it's not white, you should think it's not right and you should not eat it. I made that mistake once.
Oh no.
So don't eat it.
All right. Well, I will never. That is great.
Listen,
advice.
snow cones are good, right? So
Okay, you make that fair point. If it was a yellow flavoring, and then I could see where that confusion would come up.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. We will see you later. Have a great night.
Bye.